New roommate moved in today. We're complete strangers. He stole something immediately but returned it when confronted. WTF do I do? M20S. M20S, just moved to a new city with my company. I was here for a few days before new guy, M20S, moves in. He seems anxious, so I go chill in my room for a few hours. When I come out to rummage through the kitchen, I notice my liter of vodka is gone. Ask immediately, did you take my vodka? And he said, yeah, sorry. Then he went and got it from his room. A few shots were missing. Had I noticed a few shots missing, I would have been bothered. The fact he took the whole thing to his room has me in immediate trust issues territory. I have a ton of expensive shit here, and now I'm paranoid I can't trust this person when I'm gone to work. Obtaining and installing a lock in my room isn't easy. Super remote place, no hardware stores, no Amazon. How do I deal with this head on? If it's company housing, then why not ask the housing office to move you, or their policy for stealing flatmates? It's only been a few hours, I'm just trying to catch my bearings. Is this an immediate get the fuck out situation, or was the guy just super anxious and weird? I wouldn't trust him and would probably find a new roommate. What he did was completely inconsiderate. We're placed together in company housing, so it's a big deal to move. That's just strange. Did he say anything after you caught him, or just hand you the bottle and run off to his room? Definitely talk to him and make it very clear that you won't put up with it and you will report it if it happens again. Did he think the company left the bottle there as a welcome? Lol, this is straight up weird. Who steals vodka? Lol. I'm leaning more in this direction in my mind only because it's easier to deal with. I'm hoping he thought it was vodka left my previous residence or something, until I said, did you take my vodka? Then he knew he fucked up. Still fucking weird to take it to your room though, right? It was super awkward after he gave it back and all a blur. I was flabbergasted, made a hot dog and got out of there. Turned soon after to bring the vodka to my room. Now drinking drinks and pondering the next move. Report this. Who knows if that's all the guy stole. You could also flat out tell him that you're reporting him because you should feel safe to leave your things around the house without them being stolen. I was living in a company share house last year. It's possible that he's a dick. It's also possible that you left something in the kitchen and he took it thinking it was communal or leftover from a previous occupant. Yes, I literally had bottle of vodka and other booze in the cupboard from previous occupants that left it behind. Ask the guy before you go reporting him to HR. He's in a new city and probably just as nervous as you are and realized he made a stupid mistake. If you're living together, you could be good friends after a while. I didn't know anyone in the new city I moved to, and I'm now really close with a few of them even though we don't live together anymore. But yes, he could be a bad person, but don't assume the worst just yet. How do I talk to my husband about my MS? So I have MS. The symptoms are beginning to get bad and I'm often debilitated. My husband has been absolutely wonderful about it all. Supportive and helpful. He's done everything he can to take care of me and has never shown any resentment for it. I can't really have sex anymore. It's just too difficult and too painful for me, but I don't think it's fair to ask my husband to never have sex again. I brought up the idea of opening up the marriage for him, but he won't hear about. He says he doesn't want anyone but me. Sweet, right? Well, here's the problem. My husband is in denial about my condition. He still believes I'm going to get better and we will one day resume our sex life. I won't and we won't. But he is holding on to the hope that some miracle cure will come along or some other miracle and I'll get better. He still hasn't accepted that this is permanent. There is no getting better. I'm only going to get worse. I need to get him to understand that our lives are never going back to what it was. I'm also scared that when he really realizes that this is permanent, he won't be able to handle it. How can I help him? Speaking from experience, send your neurologist a message through your electronic medical record. Ask him to discuss this issue with your husband at your next appointment. Emphasize that the explanation needs to be clear and unequivocal, that no cure currently exists and that your medications are disease modifying and hopefully will slow the progression of the disease and can't be construed in any way as a cure. Your husband is either in denial or doesn't understand your condition and the purpose of your meds. Hopefully hearing the truth truth from your neurologist will clarify your situation for him. I don't get the impression that the husband thinks her current meds/treatment will cure her. He sounds like one of those people that thinks they could find a cure for cancer tomorrow. Similarly, he thinks a cure for MS is one breakthrough away. Simply put, therapy. This is a traumatic, life-changing illness. Both of you should be in therapy to help you cope, and marriage counseling to develop tools to handle this. He's going to really need it when caretaker fatigue starts to set in. Therapy, therapy, therapy. It's possible he just doesn't want to have sex with other women. We often characterize men as being willing to bang anything W/a pulse, but some men find prostitutes reviling. Infidelity, even if you approve of it, can also be like that. I think you're right that you need to explain the severity of MS until he understands it, but instead of pushing him towards seeking other women, it might be more beneficial to find out why he's reluctant. The other consideration is that he might see it as a trap. Asking your husband if he wants to open up the relationship is like the ultimate "do I look fat in this dress?" question. Couples therapy, and even including him in your doctor's appointments, might help him see the light. There will be support groups for MS sufferers and their families. Find one. Your hospital probably has a list. Also go chat to r/multiple sclerosis. Brazilian waxer problems. Weary face. I'm a full body waxer. My main service are Brazilians, women and men. This guy I have been dating has an issue with me waxing male private parts. This is my career and the money is great. Can I please have a point of view on this? Would you be okay with this or not? On the topic of performing painful procedures around male genitalia, my ex was highly uncomfortable with my job requiring me to insert catheters into male urethras. At the end of the day, this is your job and not something you take any sexual satisfaction in. Just reassure him and remind him that he's taking issue with your livelihood. Good luck. I would absolutely love to be a waxpert because hair removal fascinates me. I always find it hilarious when anyone brings up how many dicks I see as a nurse with anything sexual. Is it also sexual when I am scrubbing dried shit off of an 80-year-old's ball sack? Come on, people, nothing about this is dreamy, glamorous, or sexy. Maybe you should offer to wax him, so he can experience firsthand exactly how non-arousing it is. I wouldn't have a problem with your job. If you're making good money, and you enjoy what you do, I would be happy for you. I wish he thought like this. Weary face. It's your career and livelihood. He is feeling a bit insecure, and hopefully some reassurance will change his mind. But I wouldn't sacrifice a good paying, honest living just for him. He's about to get the boot. My girlfriend is a nurse. She deals with genitals of both kinds on a daily basis, although usually older and wrinkly, occasionally young people. But she says when she is at work, she finds nothing sexual in that environment, even if the patient is embarrassed or uncomfortable. Maybe emphasize that it is your profession, so you don't even view your actions as sexual in nature, you're just performing a task. Yeah. My husband and I were talking about circumcision once, and he asked me if I'd ever seen an uncircumcised penis, and I said no. Then about 10 minutes later I was, hey, wait a minute. I've seen tons of them at my job. When you're at work it barely registers that what you're dealing with is a set of genitals. Fellow esthetician, I can say, without a doubt, that there is nothing sexy about waxing genitals. He needs to get over it. It's usually when I'm waxing their butt crack that my guest likes to ask, "How did you get into this?" ? But I just say, this is just another day in the office for me. It literally means nothing. I get it, girl. Honestly, I wouldn't put up with this. It's your job. It's clinical. As long as you're professional, which I'm sure you are. I don't know any estheticians that have crossed that line with a client on their table. There is literally nothing to worry about. Thank you, fellow ST. Praying gesture. A lot of waxers don't do men, so they can't relate.